Another note from this last Sunday, that in this talk of Are You Still Willing, he makes a fairly detailed reference to the parable of the 10 virgins. 5 brought extra oil and 5 didn't, and those with the extra oil were able to follow the wedding procession. And then he makes the comment that we need to trim our lamps. And there was quite a deep discussion here in our priesthood meeting, in our elders' quorum. And there's a couple of things that I want to mention here. That first of all, to trim the lamp, what this means is the wick, after it burns for a certain amount of time, it gets corroded and clogged with ash and just burnt out wick. And it dims the light. It doesn't necessarily always go out. It can go out, but it doesn't always. It just dims it down a lot. And so to trim your lamp means to cut all of that buildup off the end of the wick so that the wick can burn brightly. The second thing to remember is that the wedding procession, they weren't just lighting their lamps so that they could walk behind the groom. No, lighting the lamps, they were supposed to light the way for the groom. They would line the path. All the guests, you'd have the groom would start at his house, and all the guests would start by lining the road from his house all the way until they got to the wedding feast. And in our discussion, we realized there's 3 things that we have to do. First, we have to have the oil, the spiritual reserve of power to keep going, so that when the groom comes, we have that oil, we have that spiritual power to light the way. Second of all, we have to trim the lamp. And this doesn't necessarily mean getting rid of sin. It does to some extent, but it also means refreshing ourselves, going to church every week, going into the temple, trimming off that buildup of the world that bogs us down, weighs us down, getting that clipped off so that our wick can burn the brighter. But if all we do is have oil and a wick, we're not doing enough, because unless we light the lamp so that everyone can see it and can see the way to the wedding feast, then we're not doing our part.